If you need help, then dial your operator.
Have no fear, fellow citizens. The Mediator is here.
Good morning and welcome to this week's edition of The Mediator with me, your host Brian West, here to give you the top 8 headlines and developing news stories that made it in this week. Now, as usual, I'll give you the top 8 local headlines and developing news stories that made it first. Then we may do a movie clip, a skit, a trailer, or something that's going on in the community, or some pictures. Then I'll give you the top 8 international headlines and developing news stories that made it this week. So let's waste no time. Let's get to it. Story number 1, local sports interest is still alive. Yes, there was a lot of doubt about athletics some time ago when COVID-19 came around, but after some adjustments, it seems that the strategy to keep players active in the games is working. The majority of high school teams were able to finish their modified seasons and adjust to changes put in place. If YSU is able to resume its sports program, then it may be clear that adapting to COVID-19 is in full effect. Sports plays a huge part in spending habits and economic behavior locally and across the world, probably most likely in the United States. This is a big headline. Story number 2, slight rise in local health care costs for county employees. The county commissioner approved a new 3-year agreement with Medical Mutual for its 1,700 employees. The county is concerned about a rise in costs by 2.5% with the most popular plan, but will continue to leave the door open for employees to decide. We are now in open season. It ends for healthcare. It ends December 15th. Big headline that could impact the cost of healthcare locally and probably across the United States as we're in open season. Big headline. Story number 3, YSU giving $2.2 million to get more students involved in microelectronics. A $30 million workforce initiative geared towards microelectronic systems spread $2.2 million of that money in YSU's direction. The Air Force says that academic programs across the nation are not meeting expectation when it comes to microelectronics. The article talks about the battle to attract younger students and create more interest in this critical field of study. The Valley is slowly transitioning to electronics, which could provide a spark for more investments in this area of the future workforce. Microelectronics, the story is still developing, especially when we're talking about new jobs coming to the area geared towards technology and electric car vehicles. Big story, and that's why story number 3 made it in this week. Story number 4, it's business as usual, but COVID-19 is still lingering. It may be business as usual, but 82 counties in Ohio are reporting high virus rates. Former Ohio Health Director Amy Acton has also broken her silence in a national news report with the New Yorker by discussing her decision to step down. She claimed that her reason for stepping down was because she might have been forced to sign health orders that would have violated her Hippocratic oath to do no harm. Now, with no health director in the seat, Ohio has seen cases rise with little data available to understand the long-term effects of COVID-19, the disease, the virus. Some are still considering herd immunity as an option, but medical professionals do not see this as a valid solution. This story is still developing. Keep an eye on it, especially as there is nobody sitting in an Amy Acton's seat. So keep an eye on story number 4. Big headline. Big developing news story. Story number 5. Dilapidated properties are on zoning inspectors' radar. Boardman is just one of many communities taking actions against dilapidated properties. The township plans to add violation fees to tax bills for those not up to zoning code standards. Now, along with Boardman Township, the city of Youngstown is also trying to crack down on dilapidated properties as well. This story is still developing. Take care of your land. Big headline. Big developing news story. Story number 6. Local turnout for voting reached a 20-year high. That's good. A lot of good things develop when people exercise their right to vote. Local officials were well pleased to see the Valley hit over 80% at the polls. This could provide officials with enough data to confirm that local communities want change. Now, although there wasn't much difference in the shifting of the guard, it still shows that the U.S. democracy is still alive and well. Big headline. Big story inside of story number 6. Exercising that right to vote makes the mediator happy. Good, baby. Woo! Story number 7 in the top 2 local headlines and developing news stories that made it this week. You got it. What will it take to improve the academic climate here locally? Youngstown City schools have seen declines locally since the early 90s, if not longer. Now, activists and board members have been in numerous headlines attempting to meet the standards of the state and get up to par when it comes to academic excellence. This story can be approached from multiple angles. You can look at it from the teacher standpoint, the students, the board members, or even the parents. Now, if each party can get on the same page, Youngstown could possibly achieve better results. We'll see how this story develops. Story number 8 in the top local headline and developing news story that made it in this week. What will the next 4 years look like for the Valley? Many local districts didn't vote for too many changes in office, leaving some local residents wondering what the next 4 years will look like. Workhorse and GM are bringing high hopes job-wise, along with TJX and 3D printing. The business incubator has also made some headlines when talking about the future of the business climate here locally. These stories alone equal jobs and potential for growth in an evolving market. Now, as Ohio rides the COVID-19 wave with no changes in office here locally, only time will tell what the future of Ohio will look like. Big headline is story number 8. Well, those are our top 8 local headlines and developing news stories that made it this week. I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back with the top 8 international headlines and developing news stories that made it this week. You're in the Mediator with me, Brian West. I'll be right back.
If you need help, then dial your operator.
Have no fear, fellow citizens. The Mediator is here.
If you want to check out the stories that almost made it in or did make it in, go to our Twitter feed on our website. Check out everything. All of the sources are there. And go to the website. It's method8inc.com, method8inc.com, where you can buy something, click on something, watch something, read something, or just sponsor a program.